Hi everyone. For this reading, we will take a look at Sexual Compulsives Anonymous. You can go to SCA-recovery.org to learn more about this 12-step fellowship. That's S for sexual, C for compulsives, A for anonymous, recovery.org to learn more about this fellowship. As a reminder, we are taking a look at each of the S-related fellowships that are pretty predominant. So, Sex Addicts Anonymous, Sexaholics Anonymous, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, and Sexual Compulsives Anonymous. There may be other groups that you have interest in. I want to encourage you to take a look and see what they have to offer. Each organization has a different definition of abstinence or sobriety. Let's take a look at the SCA Statement of Purpose. Sexual Compulsives Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from sexual compulsion. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop having compulsive sex. There are no dues or fees for SCA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. SCA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sexually sober and to help others to achieve sexual sobriety. Members are encouraged to develop their own sexual recovery plan and to define sexual sobriety for themselves. We are not here to repress our God-given sexuality, but to learn how to express it in ways that will not make unreasonable demands on our time and energy, place us in legal jeopardy, or endanger our mental, physical, or spiritual health. The primary piece of SCA literature is the Little Blue Book, which you'll see pictured here on this slide. You heard me mention before that in Sexual Compulsives Anonymous, there is use of a sexual recovery plan. This tool is a predetermined way of expressing our sexuality consistent with our values so that even when confused, we will have a written plan to help guide us. We look to the text of the Little Blue Book to understand how this works. SCA does not provide individuals with a definition of sexual sobriety. Sobriety is generally understood as an adherence to a sexual recovery plan which the individual member wrote for himself or herself. This plan is usually developed in consultation with another member of SCA, often one sponsor. Counting of days and announcements of SCA anniversaries and meetings usually refer to the amount of time one has remained on a plan. A sexual recovery plan includes bottom lines, an action plan, gray areas, and a vision plan. Let's take a look at what those can be. Typically, bottom lines are behaviors to abstain from no matter what. An action plan is actions a person can take on a daily basis in order to maintain their sobriety. Gray areas are behaviors a person might want to work toward progress on rather than perfection. So they're not abstaining no matter what, but they are working on abstaining from, reducing, etc., that particular behavior. A vision plan are goals that a person wants to achieve as a result of taking all of those actions. Here, I would like to direct your attention to the diversity statement issued by the International Service Office of Sexual Compulsives Anonymous in October 2020. Mutual respect and acceptance for all have always been central to maintaining safety within the SCA fellowship. With the greater awareness of differences within the SCA community, the time has come to make these precepts more explicit. As stated in Tradition 1, our experience shows that it is essential that SCA meetings be places where members feel accepted and free to share their experiences with sexual compulsion honestly and openly, without fear of being shamed or judged. Self-acceptance and acceptance of others are fundamental to recovery in SCA. SCA unity depends on the practice of this universal acceptance. Rather than reference a list of identities entitled to this respect, acceptance, and tolerance, we affirm that these practices apply to all who seek sexual recovery under our third tradition. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop having compulsive sex. We further encourage non-judgment in all matters relating to others, as we wish to be free of judgment ourselves. Personal recovery depends on SCA unity. Diversity and inclusivity are essential to welcoming all people into the rooms. If people of marginalized groups feel welcome, they can start to reduce their shame. Not just the shame of their compulsive sexual behaviors, but the shame of feeling other. The eradication of shame is critical for mental health and recovery over time. Like other 12-step groups, SCA takes no position on outside issues. However, when any language or practice supporting inclusivity benefits the recovery of its members, it is appropriate to encourage or suggest that these be adopted at the meeting level, recognizing that each meeting is autonomous and can choose whether or not to do so. SCA is committed to safe and productive meetings for all members. Members are encouraged to be inclusive, respectful, and kind to all others. We affirm that discrimination, microaggression, and harassment have no place in SCA meetings. The trusted servants of any meeting are encouraged to firmly but gently flag disrespectful conduct. They may respectfully take other actions as deemed necessary to maintain safety within the group, recognizing that awareness of these issues is often lacking. The founding of the SCA Fellowship came about in part because of the lack of acceptance or tolerance of different sexual orientations by others. Creating a safe space for diversity creates an environment for members to make themselves vulnerable by getting honest. Trust in the fellowship is a crucial component for recovery. So we've reached the end of the reading of the SCA International Service Office Diversity and Inclusivity Policy that was approved in October 2020. I would like to acknowledge here that earlier readings from the SCA literature within this same video use very specific she, her, or he, him language, or men and women. Those were read as written. And as you will see here in this diversity and inclusivity policy, there is some freedom and flexibility in the language choice for meetings as well as the interpretation of them. SCA was founded to account for some of the challenges with lack of acceptance or tolerance of different sexual identities, orientations, and likely gender expression as well. So I'd like for you to attend to that as you think about which sex-related recovery group is the best one for you. As a reminder, you can go to sca-recovery.org for more information.